Rw9 versus Mawkzy. These guys have got a very storied history, a very even history, and we're going to get stuck into game 1 of a potential 7 right now. Yeah, shout out to these guys for being on time, by the way. It's always good when we can kick off on time, but I also have to apologize. I've kind of messed this up just a little bit. I didn't realize that today on the RLCS broadcast there is a first touch pre-show. I did not realize that until this match was already locked in, the time was locked in. Yeah, I didn't want to change it after locking it in with the players. If I'd known that there was a first touch podcast today, we would have tried to start this 30 minutes earlier so that I don't stream over the top of that. But yeah, let's just get started on time. That's the best I can do for you today, and we'll take it from there. Great save by Rw9 on Mawkzy's flick to the top corner. And if you did watch yesterday's match of Rw9 against Zen, you'll remember that Zen was trying his hand at quite a few flicks, didn't get the best results from them. But Mawkzy is a different caliber. He's, definitely got the flick game figured out. That's the part of the one's meta where I think he is just levels above everyone else. Well, maybe not levels, but at least a level above everyone else. Yeah, let's see if he can produce some of his best against the guy most people are calling the best in the world right now, myself included. Yeah, pre-show in RLCS starts in 13 minutes. If you want to watch both, yeah, the pre-show will start in 13 minutes in RLCS on the hour. The first touch pre-show for RLCS. Yeah, like I said, didn't know that was going to be on today. It's usually just the last 2 days of majors that they do that. But this time they're doing it on the last 3 days because, exciting news, there will be a crowd today for the RLCS major on the Friday matches, which is awesome. So I'm excited to see that. As soon as we're done this, we're going to switch straight over to the RLCS pre-show. Yeah, my apologies for accidentally putting that on at the same time by mistake. Yeah, it's also, well, the reason I didn't want to change it is because it's also Ramadan right now for Rw9. I said this yesterday, but yeah, Rw9 is, I think, just 1 hour into how far into his eating window is he? Is he an hour and a half into his eating window? So literally, what you'll have done before this, if you're not familiar with how Ramadan works, is he'll have been sleeping during the day. I think they take like a nap or maybe an extended nap. I'm not sure what you call it. Yeah, I think they sleep for a bit and then they wake up, eat the biggest meal you've ever seen, and now here he is playing 1v1 right after that. So yeah, an hour and 30 minutes after their eating window opens. I think they eat for a solid hour minimum, so it was going to be very tight. I'm not sure it would have been possible with the constraints, the eating window that Ramadan has. I don't know if it would have even been possible to start this earlier. Maybe he was. I don't know if he was sleeping. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was. So I know some people do. I know some people nap in the afternoon, then they wake up and they start eating immediately. But I think that that's just a preferential thing. 15-minute eat, again, probably a situational thing there. I've heard conflicting stories from different people saying that they have an absolutely massive meal, which sounds like the way to go in my opinion. I like the sound of that. So good start from Mawkzy. He does have a decent record against Rw9 all time. In fact, their most recent meeting, Mawkzy did come out the victor. It was in one of Fear's recent tournaments, I think in December, I'm going to say, or possibly January. I'm going to say, yeah, December, I think. But the 2 matches before then, Rw9, I think, did beat Mawkzy. So, yeah, they've really got a very back and forth rivalry. The difference between them as of late, oh, what a shot by Rw9 that is, by the way. But the difference between them lately has been Rw9's consistency against the lower rated players. Mawkzy, kind of in the same boat as Daniel for me, as a player who is completely capable of taking down anyone on his day. If he shows up and flicks the ball perfectly, he can take down anyone in the world, including Rw9. But he's also a little bit more susceptible to upsets by lower rated players. Again, like I said, similar to Daniel in my opinion. That's why I've got Daniel and Mawkzy probably as my 3rd and 4th ranked player in the world. And I've got Rw9 and Zen at 1 and 2. because Rw9 and Zen, you know, on top of having just immaculate records against everyone else at the top, pretty much they're very consistent against players they're supposed to beat as well. Mawkzy off to a brilliant start in this first game. Rw9 sometimes takes a bit of time to download his opponent, as we saw in the first matchup he played against Zen on my channel. Mawkzy he's more familiar with. He'll know what to expect coming into this. That's a very sneaky challenge there by Rw9. Mawkzy knew that he was boost starved. Knew that Rw9 was boost starved, that is. He didn't expect the gap to be closed, and now Rw9 launches himself in for a successful challenge and a 1-goal lead to go up 5-4. Why not TRK? Well, TRK's inactivity for me pushes him outside the top 4 for now, but definitely TRK and Yan as well have, you know, they've got the right to be in that conversation with a bit more activity. I wouldn't hesitate to put them up there. Yeah, Rw9, Mawkzy, Daniel and Zen have just been the most active of the top, you know, 5 players, 5, 6, even 7. You know, beyond that, I think for me, if you know, if you're putting Yan and TRK in the inactive, but probably still in the conversation for top 5 category, I think next in line for me would be apparently Jack. I think he's pretty clearly the next best on the North American server after Daniel right now, with multiple recent wins over First Killer. So yeah, I'd go with Jack next, and then it becomes a little bit more of a group of players after that. Players like First Killer, players like Naupo. Even players, you know, further down the line in NA, Chronic and AJ, as well as you know, players like KV1, Khaled. We don't often get to see them play, but they're probably still in the mix, no doubt. Jory is, of course, as well. That's a big miss there by Mawkzy. Rw9 mind gamed really badly though. What a fake by Mawkzy. Great regain after completely beating that shot. That shot there has to, you know, go somewhere more threatening to be a success. The fake was brilliant. Rw9 went flying right past the ball. Oh, great rip on the wall clear as well by Mawkzy. That completely surprised Rw9. He's not often one to concede open nets. Can Mawkzy make a late push in game 1? It's not an easy position, but he's worked it really well. He's worked it patiently, and he's managed to squeeze it past Rw9 to make it a 1-goal game. Exceptional patience by Mawkzy in the build-up there. He didn't panic, he didn't rush the aerial play, he didn't rush the flick, he just took his time and placed it into the top shelf. Trips up Rw9 now after the kickoff goes slightly in his favour, but now it's massively in Rw9's favour. Back corner air dribble commences. Rw9 is trying to waste all the remaining time here. Doesn't care if the ball goes in Mawkzy's net. He just wants a 50, gets it, and wins the first game. He had a good lead going into the final minute, and now confirms the win with solid defense at the end there. To game 2. I feel like Mawkzy needs to get his teeth into this as soon as possible. I don't think this is going to be a good time for him against Rw9's current form. He allows Rw9 to build a multiple game lead. Was a very close game 1 though, not a bad start for the young Frenchman. Oh, I should probably mention it right now. I did say on my stream at the very start when I went live here, but I don't think I said it during the match, so I'll say it again. That is that Mawkzy, if you're not aware, he is on YouTube, and he just hit 100,000 subs right at the start of the show match. He just reached 100,000 subs for the first time, so congratulations, Mawkzy. You know, for my VOD and YouTube viewers who weren't here earlier in the stream to hear me say that. And also, he wanted me to let you know that he is going to look to make one English video every now and then, so that he can interact with you guys who do not understand French like me. I say it, when I say it like that, it makes it sound like I do understand French. What I mean is I don't, like you, who don't. Yeah, I struggle. Anything more than allez and baguette is often tricky. Yeah, is it just me, or does Rw9 have just a bit more aggression in his 50s? A little bit more of a pacey run at the ball. I think this is something that he's added to his game between his matches against Zen. It's the first time he played Zen, he was playing his usual self, very controlled, very cautious, and got the win. But in his match against Zen yesterday, Rw9 was really throwing himself into the play. I'm not sure if that's just something he's added to his ones game or if that's just something that's been happening naturally as he's been grinding a lot of threes recently for the Saudi LAN that he was able to come out on top in. But I like what I'm seeing. I think that this is a new, more dangerous looking to Rw9. He really commits for every challenge, commits for every 50-50. Oh, what a save. Mawkzy took a bit of a contact there as Rw9 tried to air dribble bump him, but he held strong mid-air. Yeah, remember guys, if you write anything in French or other languages, Arabic, whatever the language is, if it's not English, it will get timed out. Reason being that myself and my mods do not understand French, we can't read it, so we can't effectively moderate it. If you want to be part of the chat, just use a quick Google Translate. Modern technology will help you get through pretty quickly. That's racist. No, it isn't. You might want to look up the definition of racist, because that is not racist. That is in fact what you call effective moderation. But yeah, you're all welcome, and I'm glad to have you here. But I've said this in quite a few other show matches, but I'll repeat it because I think it really paints it in the clearest picture. It paints the clearest picture for you all. Someone in my chat, it wasn't today, but somebody in my chat in a different match. I think it was either I can't remember who was playing, to be honest, but it was it was a player who had many fans who were all spamming my chat in a language that was not English. I don't recall which, to be honest. But a certain Twitch chatter came up with a brilliant idea when I told my chat to please keep it in English because me and my mods don't read whatever language was being spammed. We can't read it. A very intelligent young man in the chat suggested, why don't the mods just Google Translate everything? Which, on the surface isn't a terrible idea. He probably means well, but practically that's going to be quite difficult to do. If you think about it, the amount of comments that are flying by, I mean, which makes more sense? For the mods to Google Translate absolutely everything and try and effectively moderate Google Translated comments, or for everyone who wants to write something in support of their favorite player, or who wants to join in the chat, to just Google Translate their own messages. We can all contribute here. We can, the different communities, we can interact using the wonders of modern technology. So yeah, that would be my personal suggestion. My alternative, you could say, to that wonderful idea is, just Google Translate your own comments. Also, before we get stuck into the business end of this game, it's almost guaranteed that all of you guys who do speak Arabic and who do speak French and any other language, it's almost a guarantee that your English is better than my French, is better than my Arabic, is better than whatever other language it is. Because we are just the dumbest, we're the dumbest linguists in the world. People who speak English as their first language, we just don't know anything. So we really need you guys to help us out here, because trust me, you guys are definitely better at English than we are at whatever language it is that you're speaking. And we need your help. So yeah, it's just a simple cry for help more than anything else. Oh wow, wait, that's just in? Okay, that is very surprising. How did Rw9 manage to sneak this in? Oh, Mawkzy was so close. Well, good shot there by Rw9. I did not expect that one. I thought it was going to be a Mawkzy back corner 50. Looks like Mawkzy tried to put the brakes there and stop Rw9, and it did not work. Mawkzy down by one again, late in the game. Yeah, he tried to reverse bump Rw9 there. You saw a little bit of a reverse from Mawkzy. He's trying to either bump Rw9 or maybe park up in front of him, but he was not in front of Rw9. He's now goal side. 50'd it right through him again for 5-3. And I know a lot of people are going to be crying kickoff goal, boo. But if you look at what happened there, Mawkzy he's side onto the ball. Rw9 is goal side, and they've both flipped in opposite directions. Now, when that happens, you tend to see the goal side player winning the kickoff. It is as simple as that. If both players flipped in the same direction there, Mawkzy would have a better chance, but he just guessed wrong. Rw9 able to read him, pretty well on that one. And no doubt close out the game as a result. I mean, Rw9 just looks unstoppable at the moment. He's proving a point here. He wants to show everybody he's not just better than Zen. He's not Zen's boogeyman, he's everybody's boogeyman. He tweeted out after beating Zen that he's different from the rest. And he's continuing to prove it with every passing game. 6-3. From behind, Rw9 scores 5 goals. Closes out the game. Yeah, I know, don't worry guys. I see a lot of you saying, talk about the game, cast the game. I know, but I think it's important every now and then to remind everyone that we're not actually on, you know, completely different teams here. Rw9 and Mawkzy are literally on different teams, the blue team and the orange team respectively, but we're all kind of the same team watching them play. We're all fans of 1v1, I think. Yeah, I've got to remind my chat every now and then that hostility is often exaggerated when we can't understand each other. When you see a bunch of messages that you don't really understand because you don't speak the same language, we can't all communicate, then it does kind of duplicate and exacerbate the problem, if you even want to call it that. So yeah, I'd just like to remind you guys every now and then that we can actually all enjoy the game and enjoy the matches without saying that one player is rubbish and the other player is infinitely better than him. It's just kind of, it would be really boring, wouldn't it, if we were watching a game where one player was just infinitely better than the other? That wouldn't be entertaining. It's just not an accurate description of what's happening, is it? I was kind of surprised neither player went for a bump there. I thought we were going to see one. That's a super confident 50 by Rw9. He's done well though. Mawkzy looking to keep the counter attack alive. Rw9 forced a half flip away from the ball. Jumps on the spot and Mawkzy gets it past him. Very interesting turning challenges here from Rw9. Extremely aggressive. Mawkzy countering him with the early flick. Love that little look to the side there from Mawkzy. Just brief flick with the camera to see behind the ball. He knew Rw9 is hiding behind the ball. He's trying to see if Rw9 is challenging or not. Very difficult to do that. To dribble at the ball perfectly on top of your car and use the little joystick look around button to see where the opponent is. It's one of those things I would say don't try this at home because you're probably just going to miss your flick. You're probably just going to drop the ball if you do. Easier option is just to assume that they're challenging because everyone in Rocket League is a ball chaser and flick the ball early every time. Oh, that's a flick and a half. Mawkzy's got his best game yet, 4-0. Rw9 countered on a couple of lunging challenges. Now he fakes one and the result is the same. Mawkzy launches it over his head. I'm going to catch up on all the alerts. I've seen I'm way behind in alerts already, so I'll catch up after this match is done. Yeah, apologies if you have to go before then. I do appreciate the support. We've had a ton of support in these streams the past 2 days. It's really making it easier for me for sure. Seeing the excitement that all of you guys have for ones and for RLCS, it's giving me a lot more energy than I thought I would have. I was kind of worried about yesterday's 9-hour stream that I would just get way too tired, but it was really fun start to finish. Oh, what a play by Mawkzy. Look at that, just letting the ball roll into the corner. He must have been tempted to touch that one. And he just lets it go past him. Mawkzy looking for the double now, and he slots it bottom corner. Oh my goodness, Mawkzy's popping off. And he's not just a ground game one-trick pony. He really does have a very diverse catalogue of plays now. When he first burst onto the scene, Mawkzy was all about the ground game, all about the flicks. But with every passing month, he's looked like more and more of a complete player. You guys who've been following his journey through the one scene since he first popped up will know that for a while he fell down the ranks in the ladder because he treated his games as more of a learning experience than a hunt for rank points. Which is great advice. Oh, what a save. Rw9 places what he thought was an open net right into Mawkzy's hands. He will walk around Mawkzy's attempted reverse challenge. It looks a bit silly there, but Mawkzy's trying to just sneak a challenge in. Fakes a turn. Thinks he's hiding behind the ball. He's not. Rw9 can see him. Rw9 is really just bulldozing Mawkzy's wave dash kickoff. This is something we never see. Mawkzy, very well known for his wave dash recovery kickoff. mechanics. So to see Rw9 just go straight over the top of him is very interesting. It's been happening quite a lot today. Could this be a slight adaptation by Rw9, knowing that Mawkzy likes to use this strategy? Usually when you go too high into the kickoff, you're just increasing your recovery time and limiting your ability to get back to the ball. But if the opponent is not flipping into it, then maybe it's better to go high and just try and get a big dunk on them. Mawkzy again able to see Rw9 coming a mile away. Time starting to get away from Rw9 a little bit if he's going to play his usual careful strategy. But he's not. Oh my goodness. He completely rips a flip reset into the roof of the net. This is going to look stupid from Mawkzy's perspective. This is just going to look... that's just silly. Yeah, it's just looking incredibly silly from Mawkzy's POV. What on earth? I mean, Rw9, he's got the ability. He just never has to use these moves. Usually he just wins games by defending and counter-attacking. But when he's down, my goodness, he starts to reveal that he's got plenty tricks at his disposal. The fact that he just immediately flipped there as soon as the ball landed on him, it looks like a bug. It really does look like a bug, because I feel like, you know, sometimes when you skim the ball with the underside of your car, it goes faster than... It looks like it just shouldn't be going as fast as it does. Oh, what a shot. My goodness. Rw9 is not messing around here. Yeah, it might be one of those like combinations where you're combining a flip into the ball with that little skim where the ball's just gone quicker than it looks like it should go. Mawkzy defends his back corner boost. Ball belongs to him as well. Look at him just jerking his camera left and right there to keep an eye on Rw9's position. Brilliance by Mawkzy. Not able to get the rebound on target, but I love that from him. On the dribble, he's able to just flick his camera left and right to see around the ball, to see where Rw9 is, to see how Rw9 is approaching him. You know, if Mawkzy had doubled that in, it would have been, I think, well deserved. Truth is, so he's missed it, and his lead is starting to fall apart. Pre-flip attempted by Rw9. Might be a fight for the corner boost here. Mawkzy concedes it. Rw9 keeping the pressure on. Mawkzy wants to keep the ball in the back corner here. Rw9 denies him. And just like that, we have a tie game. This is an incredible performance by Rw9. Mawkzy started so strongly this game. Rw9 might just be different, as he said he was. He steals the boost away again. Mawkzy desperately trying to defend that back corner boost. Unable to do so. Look at the confidence of Rw9, again launching himself into position. Mawkzy advances down the line. Needs to watch the counter-attack here. In fact, could not go for the boost steal, but he's actually caught Rw9 turning awkwardly. Oh, maybe Rw9 did just expect Mawkzy to steal the boost away. Oh, he did. Well, Mawkzy fakes the boost steal. Rw9 goes to play the ball. Mawkzy beats him to it. Tons of space now for Rw9 from the left side. Just gives himself a little bit of a run up for the ground shot. It's easily saved by Mawkzy. Rw9 picks up the mid boost on spawn. Same one he grabbed right after the kickoff. Perfectly timed. And into the air he goes again. Rw9 too fast. Mawkzy did not challenge him in the air, and he could not challenge him on the goal line either. It's just simple stuff. I mean, that's like, for some reason when I saw that, I was remembering Fairy Peak in his prime. That's just straight out of Fairy Peak's playbook. Just the disrespectful aerial. You know, goes up and says, "You're not gonna get there in time, bro. It's just not gonna happen for you." And here's Mawkzy in his comfort zone. This is what he does best, but it's not the flick this time. It's here, double bump. Rw9 keeps it right where it was. Jumps over the top of Mawkzy and then flips into the ball to knock it downwards. Perfect save. And here comes Mawkzy again. This time the ball falls off the front of his car. Overtime game 3. Must win for Mawkzy. It is a best of 7, but to win 4 straight against Rw9 in his current form just seems impossible. Mawkzy once more in that same back corner. This time he has the ball and he has 100 boost. Defends both. Rw9 knocks it into his back corner. Mawkzy still in control though. Rw9 pre-flip challenge. Connects. The shot just off target. Mawkzy has just 17 boost right now. Rw9 correctly reads that Mawkzy's running low, but he's afraid of the long shot. And it is a good long shot by Mawkzy there. He's got Rw9 in a bit of trouble. Boost is free to be stolen. Brilliant lob touch by Mawkzy to force Rw9 back. How's the boost management? It's struggling. Mawkzy eliminates him. Surely now the open net will be the game winner, and it is. Mawkzy has control for almost the entirety of overtime, and he gets one win on the board. Just shrugging off the comeback. Be right back, he says. That's no problem. But we will not see a sweep today. Already up. I'm not sure how long his be right back is going to be. Right, where were we now? Alright, here we go with game 4. And lastly, but not leastly, Salaminator and the Gadman, thanks to the 18 and 5 month primes, respectively. I believe that's everyone. If I missed you, just let me know in my Twitch chat after the game is done. After the series is done, rather. I'll be sure to pay attention. That's a big commit by Mawkzy there. He definitely surprised Rw9 by going for this. But it was a very, very difficult shot. He didn't have a lot of boost for that rebound. And he actually, no, he did have a lot of boost. Wow, okay, I'm not sure why he missed the ball then. Those kind of tight angle rebounds, especially in ones, it makes more sense to hit the ball too far wide on the other side of the goal than to miss it completely. Obviously, if you miss it completely, it's just going to bounce off your back wall and the opponent gets a free goal. But at least if you miss it into the other corner, they're not going to score immediately. So I'm not sure why Mawkzy played that one so cautiously. Either way, he's made up for it with a air dribble bump. Now remember, the last time Rw9 saved one of those, he went over the top of Mawkzy. So look what Mawkzy's doing here. He's very, very high on the air dribble bump. He's realized that Rw9 is trying to go over him with his saves on these, and he's adjusted accordingly. You know, I'm sure those of you who are spamming cringe would never have noticed that, because your brains switch off when you see an air dribble bump and you think that you know, it's just a complete lucky 50-50 situation. But I can promise you there's actually something going on there if you pay attention. And next thing to look out for is if Rw9 will fake a takeoff. He'll probably fake jump if Mawkzy tries to air dribble bump again, and then wait for Mawkzy to fly over him if he was paying attention to what Mawkzy just did. It's mostly uncounterable. Oh, that's where you're wrong. It's uncounterable if the opponent doesn't really have experience defending them. But actually, air dribble bumps are usually saved these days. At the very top level, they're not a reliable way of generating consistent pressure or getting consistent goals. They're a good thing to mix in, but for the most part, you're not going to see the very best players spamming them, because you're just going to lose the ball more often than not. Oh my word, Mawkzy with his best flick of the day. What a shot. He got a bit of distance by bumping Rw9 back, but he wouldn't have needed it with a flick like that one. He's the best in the world at this. He really is. It shows you why Rw9 prefers to just challenge Mawkzy early compared to Zen, who he was maybe sitting in goal and pre-jumping a lot more against, because yeah, Zen's got the triple resets. He's got all the fancy mechanics, but Mawkzy's flick might be the least savable shot in the entire world. Like, when he has a run up at that ball, when he's supersonic, who is saving that? I mean, you guys, if you think unsavable shots are cringe, you should hate Mawkzy's flick. I think it might be the most unsavable shot in the game, and it's not even all in. It's a very safe shot as well. It's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying what that man is able to do. But like everything in ones, it does have a counter. The counter to the flick is to just challenge early. If you notice that the opponent is starting to set up the ball on the front of their car and build up speed, then the reverse 45-degree flick is likely. There's not really any other shots they could be doing. Delayed kickoff by Mawkzy. Countered. He didn't block goal side, blocked the outside. Completely guessed wrong on which side Rw9 would be approaching the ball from. Surprising, to be honest, because Rw9 has been goal side for the majority of the kickoffs today, so that would make more sense to block from that angle. There's that early challenge from Rw9. He knows that Mawkzy's probably feeling extremely confident right now with his ground game, so don't let him set it up. Mawkzy looking to get the ball into a flicking position. Rw9 just dives in, says not this time, 4-4. Once again, Mawkzy just completely bulldozed with this kickoff. He's going to be fine. Actually denies the boost steal there by threatening the direct goal down the middle. Fake challenge by Rw9. Mawkzy gets it over him. Doesn't rebound on target though. Quick recovery. Will deny the counter-attack from Rw9. And misses the mid-boost as well. Mawkzy did not like the way the ball was sitting on his car there. Opted for the low 50 instead of the flick. I think he would have flicked this if he didn't accidentally pop the ball off his car, but you notice there's a bit of a gap when he jumps. The ball didn't stick to his car, kind of popped off to the left, so he knows if he flicks there, it's going to be more of a slow shot than a flick. And easily saved, most likely, against a player like Rw9. Rw9 one step ahead on that play. Mawkzy still able to keep control of the situation though. Rw9 actually faking a half flip there, I believe, before wave dashing on the spot to get his challenge going. Mawkzy reacted in time. It really does look like the series is swinging into Mawkzy's control though. This is so impressive. After the display that Rw9 had yesterday against Zen and the display that he had in games 1 and 2 today, for Mawkzy to then turn this series around is extremely surprising. What a save as well. Mawkzy has just saved the unstoppable shot, as it's sometimes called by uninformed viewers and streamers in the Rocket League community and pro players in the Rocket League community. Yeah, I'm loving what Mawkzy's doing here. He's got just a perfect combination of plays. He's got Rw9 so worried about the flick that Rw9 has to challenge early, and then when Rw9 does challenge early, Mawkzy's got the vision, he's got the ability to look around the ball and spot those challenges coming. I mean, how do you beat that? Really? You need to be so sneaky, you need to be so efficient with your challenges. This is a real risky one from Rw9. Mawkzy didn't really make the most of that one though. Rw9 looking to keep the ball in his box. Will he keep it off the goal line? No, he won't. That's not a terrible idea for Rw9, but he's definitely misplayed it. He didn't want to boom this ball because it would just be an easy shot for Mawkzy to collect, but Mawkzy didn't leave. Rw9 thought Mawkzy was about to flip away and maybe get ready to receive the ball that he would expect is being soft cleared. Mawkzy just stayed right where he was. Mawkzy not falling for the fake challenge that time and flicks it over the real challenge. He looks to be completely unplayable right now with his ground game. And notice how many kickoffs now Mawkzy is controlling in the back corner. He's not going for kickoff wins, he's going for possession wins. Or rather, I should say, he's not going for kickoff goals. He's just trying to get control of the play. Rw9 fakes a 50. Commences the counter-attack, and that will work. It's actually crazy that every 50-50 is a mind game between these guys. The timing of the challenge is everything in a matchup like this. What is Rw9 going to do to try and come back in this one? Back corner demo is right there for him, and he connected with it. Perfect play by Rw9. He realized Mawkzy was incapable of moving. Mawkzy just landed on the back wall there. Not really an easy way for him to move away from the demo. With 10 seconds left, we're back to a 1-goal difference. Mawkzy gets control of the ball though. All he needs to do is waste the time, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Genius from Mawkzy. Doesn't need to attack. Just dribbles it back into his corner. We are in a tie series 2-2. The group is going to be wide open if Mawkzy can win this one. Rw9 4-2'd Zen yesterday. Can Mawkzy take him down? Remember, Zen is 2-0 against Mawkzy the 2 times that they've played. He's 2-0 against Daniel both the times that he's played them. So suddenly, Zen could be top of the group again. There's a chance. He'd have to obviously go and beat Mawkzy, beat Daniel to do that. But there is a chance. The group is completely wide open. Mawkzy might be about to take down the world number 1. Momentum definitely on his side. His flick game on point. He's shown up. He's doing his thing. And Rw9 so far has not had an answer for the peak Mawkzy flicks. Mind game on that one by Mawkzy, noticing Rw9 quickly advancing into a saving position. And the double tap to quickly convert on the open net. Mawkzy too fast and too clinical. And you know, Mawkzy, he's well aware. He's played Rw9 plenty times. He knows that Rw9 is going to throw in early challenges. He knows that Rw9 is not going to give him time to set up flicks after seeing how successful they've been so far today. And there's so many different ways Mawkzy can counter the lunging challenges. Another save on the air dribble bump. Mawkzy punishes Rw9 on the counter as well. I've just got to give a shout out to both these players for perfectly illustrating why this strat is just not OP at all. Like, there's many ways to save it. You can go around the side of the air dribble bump, you can fake jump, go under them, you can go over the top of them like Rw9 did earlier. You can even just bump them into the ball and force them to save their own shot. There's so many different ways to go for it. In and out saves also sometimes work. Plethora of strategies you can use to save air dribble bumps. And you know, jokes aside, I like to tease chat sometimes because they call it an unstoppable shot when it isn't. But if it is something you struggle with, if you are having a hard time saving air dribble bumps and you're getting air dribble demoed a lot in your own games, what I would suggest is try and approach it from a different angle. You'll rarely see these guys try the same losing strategy twice. If they get successfully bumped in one angle, they'll approach it from a different angle the next time around, or they'll try a different idea entirely, like the ones I just mentioned. It's all about keeping your opponent guessing in Rocket League. That applies for every game mode, not just ones. And Mawkzy has got Rw9 extremely confused at the moment. 2 games in a row. Good start in game 5 as well. Can he make it 3 straight? His possession has been immense for him. Rw9 starting to get a little bit desperate. How often do you see him completely committing to an air dribble like this? Oh my days, it's working. His 50s are just too good. This is rare to see. Rw9 committing all of his boost for an attack. But I guess he knows that that's what he needs to do right now if he's going to get a win on Mawkzy. T-Bates is saying the G1 series isn't a throw. I don't believe that. I think you're baiting me. There's no way that T-Bates is saying in their LCS pre-show that G1 didn't throw against G2. That's got to be a lie. That's bait. That has to be bait. There's just no shot. There's absolutely no way. That was a really great dodge, by the way, by Mawkzy. He's just one step ahead right now. He's got a read on where Rw9 is approaching from. He's spotting the bumps, he's spotting the demo attempts. Well, at least the majority of them. Rw9, of course, did connect with one late in the end of the last game. Brilliant pre-jump save there by Rw9. Wants to half flip into the counter attack, ignoring that corner boost in favor of the immediate pressure play. Mawkzy circling to the back corner boost at the other side. He does have it. That gives Rw9 time to approach. His flick is lackluster, and the boost is no longer there to be stolen. So notice what Mawkzy did there. He denies the boost that Rw9 might be planning to steal, because one thing you do after missed flicks, which Mawkzy doesn't really need to think about because he just scores his flicks, but one thing you can do after missed flicks in ones is steal the boost away on the side that you're flicking towards. That time it wasn't there to be stolen. Mawkzy shows Rw9 how it's done. I mean, how do you stop this guy? It is just unbelievable. Another kickoff win on the inside by Rw9. This time Mawkzy's there to save it though. 50-50s from Rw9. They're too strong. 2 goals in a row now from the ground game. So it's been the 50-50s of Rw9 against the flicks of Mawkzy. Oh, look at this. Well, Rw9 definitely going very high on the kickoff to try and counter Mawkzy's wave dash recoveries, but that one probably a bit too high because he's bounced over the ball. Remember earlier on when I said you don't want to go too high because you can sometimes just impede your own recovery? Well, that's what that looks like. Rw9 really pushing the limit of what is possible here. You've got to hit the ball dead center. I mean, generally in one's kickoffs, you hit it slightly below the center, at least visually. I'm not sure where the hitbox would be, but in terms of where the car is visually at, you want that to be a bit low on the ball so you don't bounce over it. That time Rw9 did bounce over it, so he must have been slightly higher than the ball when he made contact. Another flick from Mawkzy. He just does not stop. His consistency never drops. Rw9 does not have an answer, and once more, back corner possession for Mawkzy. He's controlling Rw9's kickoff power. What was previously a kickoff goal or a kickoff win for Rw9 is now just an advantage position for Mawkzy. Rw9 desperate. Pre-flip challenging now. I mean, this is just crazy. He's being forced to the absolute limit here. And now here comes Mawkzy again with an attempted air dribble bump. It lands. Shots off target. Rw9 immediately counters down the middle. He's going to try and read this bounce. He does. Perfect read by Rw9. An unnecessary one at that. I mean, there's plenty of time left, but it's been completely one-way traffic in Mawkzy's favour. He has turned this series on its head and continued to dominate. That's what Rw9 was trying to do before. He doesn't want to go too high, but if he gets it perfectly right, he can go straight over Mawkzy's head. Just bulldozes him. This is such an interesting development. I've never seen anyone consistently bulldoze a wave dash recovery kickoff like Rw9 is doing today. This is a first. I've seen it happen occasionally, but it's usually because the player who's trying to get the wave dash recovery beans it mechanically. But Mawkzy's not actually getting anything wrong here. It's just Rw9 is going higher than usual on the ball. Seems like he's figured out a way to force the ball through Mawkzy's wave dash recovery kickoff. Early challenge by Rw9. As always, he's able to stay low enough to follow through when he notices it's a mind game. He has to turn on the spot here. Mawkzy's got the better of him again, but for once, the flick isn't there. Moment to relax perhaps for Rw9 before he attacks at the other end. Flip reset denied. Mawkzy lunges across his goal to defend his net. It's just a very brief moment for Rw9 to relax, and then he's right back into high-paced midfield action. 1 minute to go. Mawkzy trying to set up double match point with his third straight win. Rw9 closes the distance. Booms the shot straight into the near post. I should say near post bottom corner in case someone's listening thinking that he's hit the post there. No, he's not. Confident challenge from Rw9. Mawkzy didn't see it coming. Rw9 nails the tight angle open net. 55 seconds to go. Yet another kickoff that goes over Mawkzy, but into his back corner. He's actually winning these kickoffs. It might look risky for Mawkzy, but he is winning these. He's the player who's got position. Rw9 has to fight for the position. Mawkzy counters Rw9's turn by demoing him clean out the play. Advantage the Frenchman again. Just over 30 seconds left. Slower dribble by Mawkzy and another failed flick. Well, just at the end of game 5 is where the flicks have started to deteriorate in quality. They've been immaculate up until now. A breather for Rw9 once again. Boost seal and demo. All there for the Saudi Arabian pro. And the mind game as well. Yet another 50-50 for Rw9. He set it up perfectly. Mawkzy had to think about the air roll shot. Had to cover the high angle. Rw9 completely nullifies it. 16 seconds left. It's another comeback for Rw9, but can he hold on to it? Mawkzy takes control. Fakes the shot. Grabs the ball. And goes for the air dribble bump. It looks good. Rw9 is hit. And it's in. Rw9 retreats, expecting a flick, but it is another slow takeoff for Mawkzy. The switch up is perfect. His last 2 flicks have failed him, so he goes for a different strategy, and it works first time. 5 seconds left in regulation. Rw9 looking for the mid boost pickup. Mawkzy just lets the ball hit the ground, doesn't play for the back corner boost. He plays for overtime. Mawkzy single jumping into position there. It's going to be a bit of a fight here for possession. Rw9 will come away with it. Mawkzy fakes a challenge at the near post. Rw9 threatens with 1 flick. Threatens to turn as well. Mawkzy in a bit of an awkward position here, but now suddenly he's turned it around in Rw9. Rw9 had to run away there for fear of being demoed. Both players preventing near post shooting angles here. Possession changes hands once again. It's back in Mawkzy's control, and a simple double jump pop is all he needs. Rw9 tries something a little bit different with his challenge game. He did not want to back up any further for fear of the flick. He did not want to back up any further in case he gets air dribble bumped again. But Mawkzy shows it is that simple for him. He is threatening so many high-level mechanics, so many high-level shots, that a simple double jump pop is all he needs to put it past the best defender in the world. 3 games straight for Mawkzy. And you know, while Rw9 has beaten Zen twice in a row, this would be Mawkzy's 2nd win in a row against Rw9. We're seeing a bit more of a rock, paper, scissors scenario developing at the top level of ones. You know, this would blow this group wide open. It would really blow world #1 wide open as well. Right now, Rw9 is, you know, pretty cemented as the #1 in the world. But if Mawkzy can beat him here today, suddenly there's a question mark next to his name. I think Rw9 would still be #1 in my opinion. But it would be winnable for everyone else. He'll prove to the world that it is possible if you can get him to overthink his ground games, his ground defensive strategy. Can Mawkzy do it in 6? And bring Rw9 back to a completely even game win-loss differential. Early shot, almost good. It's that simple for Mawkzy. He's got Rw9 absolutely terrified of his flick, so Rw9 is forced to move into awkward positions. That just leaves space behind him for Mawkzy to hit the ball into. Looks like if there's one thing that's holding up for Rw9, it would be the 50-50s. Those have not dropped off in level at all. His aerial speed as well. Still confident as ever. Can Mawkzy close out the deal? Rw9 knocking on the door from lots of angles here. Just peppering the net with shots, and one goes through. Zen greater than Mawkzy, greater than Rw9, greater than Zen, greater than Mawkzy. Yeah, they're all looking to go 2-0 against each other in recent games. Oh, what a pre-flip. Rw9 with perfect timing goes up by 2. Mawkzy looking to still control the ball in his back corner today. A very different idea from what we're used to seeing with most kickoff strats. Most people, the idea of winning a kickoff is getting the ball into the opponent's half. But Mawkzy here is showing that you don't need to get the ball into the opponent's half to win the kickoff. You can actually just control it in your back corner and dominate possession. That time Rw9 pre-flipped a little bit more quickly than Mawkzy was expecting. Mawkzy backs off all the way. Rw9 with a late reset. No dunk needed. It goes straight through. Mawkzy with a bit of a mistake defensively there to not make any contact at all. This is exactly what Rw9 needed. Well, a couple of things are very important for Rw9 right now. Probably the most important thing of all is that Mawkzy has missed his last 2 flicks that he's gone for. His last few goals that he's scored have actually been a double jump pop and an air dribble bump. We've not seen the flick in a while. So that's great news for Rw9. The other good news is that he's into his favourite position in Rocket League, up by multiple goals, where he can just sit back, defend, and show everybody why he's the best in the world when he's between the ball and his goal. 5-0. Pressure on Mawkzy now. Not only has he got to start chipping away at this goal lead, but you cannot afford to concede many more than this, or a quick forfeit might be on the way. I think Rw9 wanted a bit of a higher pop on that air dribble. He bails on it. Goes for a second attempt and it works. Well, Mawkzy wasn't close enough to punish that slow takeoff. Rw9 didn't really get the high bounce he was looking for, but it played it into his favour there. You know, the only thing that I can relate to when I'm watching him play like that is, you know, when you're playing in non-pro level Rocket League, like all of us watching this pretty much, and your opponent tries to flick the ball over you, but their flick is so bad that it just turns into a perfect first touch to set up a ground shot. Type 1, if you know what I mean. Happens to me all the time. I back off to prepare myself for the incoming flick, and they actually just flip underneath the ball and tee it up for themselves. Yeah, that's what, I guess that's the pro level of that, where you try and start a full pitch air dribble and accidentally just chip it halfway instead. But it's fine. You can just collect it and go again. 7-1. What an incredible scoreline to see on the back of 3 Mawkzy wins in a row. This is outrageous. Rw9 has been the biggest beneficiary of this. He hasn't really had to do too much different here to dig out a win. He's just scoring with every touch he makes pretty much, and Mawkzy, in his effort to regain control of the ball, regain control of possession like he's had for the past few games, he just continues landing out of position, and we really might just see a forfeit. I mean, Mawkzy's kind of known for forfeiting early if he's down by goals, scorelines like this, but there's just so long left in the game. I mean, he's got to play it out from now. I think if we go to like 1 minute left, he'll forfeit, but we've still got more than half the game to go. We're 6 goal difference already. It's almost in the net. Oh, it's in the net. Mawkzy own goals. outside of the ball, wave dash recovery attempt, and Rw9 goal side just plows right through him. I mean, Mawkzy's kind of asking for this. When you're trying to keep the ball in your back corner on the kickoff, and you go just a little bit too far on the outside, yeah, it might go in your goal. That's, you know, kind of what you wanted, isn't it? That's a great bounce for Rw9. Easy first touch, and a 10th goal in under 3 minutes. Where did this game come from? I mean, this is a complete anomaly. Against the run of play, it was all Mawkzy. I think the warning sign might have been when he missed those 2 flicks at the end of the last game. I keep talking about it, but that's because I think it might be the moment where Mawkzy lost confidence. He's thinking, wait, I was in the zone, I was in my flow state. And you've got to think that somebody like Mawkzy, when he misses a flick, he is going to be furious. When he doesn't flick the ball at triple figure speed. You know, that's probably tilting for him. That's like, for the rest of us, missing an open net. Mawkzy's like, wait, I didn't boom the flick? Alright, I'm tilted. It's not been going his way since then. Great save by Rw9. Just a little run ahead demo there by Mawkzy. Rw9 jumps over him. You know, what do you guys think Mawkzy does in this position? Does he keep on chugging forward with the same idea? Back corner kickoff possession into the ground game with the flicks. I mean, is that the way to win this after he's been crushed like this? You guys think FF at this point? I think honestly not a bad idea. But you know what I'd do here? I'd score and then forfeit. Like now you FF. This is the play. This is straight out the Johnny Boy ranked playbook. You hold the opponents hostage in the lobby until you score 1 goal, and then you'd say easy in the chat and you leave, just to assert dominance. Okay, there we go. That's a lot better. It's been saved though. Well, I mean, if Mawkzy was just trying to use the rest of this game as a warm-up for his flicks, then it'll have kind of been cancelled out there by Rw9's save. Any confidence gained by the smooth connection is going to be deleted by Rw9's defensive capabilities. Rw9 is mercilessly continuing onwards. He wants to make this scoreline as ugly as possible. There is a GG by Mawkzy. He's ready to go next. I'll oblige, since I know we are waiting for this match to finish so we can tune into the rest of the RLCS pre-show. But wow, what a series we're witnessing here. You couldn't script this. It doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, Rw9 comes out and wins 2 games. Sure, that makes sense. Mawkzy turns it around and wins 3. How? You're going to ask, how's that possible in Rw9's recent form? But then out of nowhere, Rw9 wins 11-3, and it was, you know, maybe even going to be more if the game kept going the way it was. Well, we're not going to complain about the outcome though, because now we go to game 7. Massive game for Mawkzy. Rw9 will remain top of the group, or at least he'll remain the group favourite if he can win this game, of course. I think he might even remain the group favourite if he loses this game, because his win-loss over Zen will be slightly better. Now, he doesn't settle for losses. I know Rw9 will be disappointed if he drops a series in this tournament. After his recent success against Zen, he does not want to lose for the 2nd time in a row against Mawkzy. This is a revenge match for him. He's out to prove a point. Much like he is against Daniel, who's also beaten Rw9 the last 2 times they played, although I think they were both best of 5s and a little bit longer ago than the Mawkzy loss. Can't remember when I think it might be years for the first one. I don't entirely remember. Oh, that's a very difficult double by Mawkzy. He's done well enough to keep it in Rw9's back corner there. Gives him time to recover. Rw9 wants to double as well. Mawkzy unable to counter-attack off the back of it. Revenge for TRK as well. That's right, yeah. Last time Mawkzy played TRK, he beat him. Yeah, the last 3 times Mawkzy played TRK, he lost twice, won once. Same with Rw9, lost twice, won once. But he does have the win in the last match, of course. That's a big deal. And he does have his flick working in game 7. That is absolutely massive for Mawkzy. Rw9 jumps into the back of his net. Mawkzy calls his bluff, fires it straight at him. And he goes up by 1 goal. He is back in charge. Rw9 trying to pretend that he's lunging in there by throwing himself to the back of the net. Mawkzy says, I don't think you're actually doing that. I'm just going to shoot it. I don't think you're ready. And he was absolutely spot on with his read. Oh, I forgot to ask, by the way. Oh my, what a boom by Rw9. That's confident shooting right after the kickoff. I forgot to ask, who's on the, who are the guests on the First Touch podcast today? Because I definitely want to go back and watch it. I want to watch the parts of it I've missed right now, later on. Boston Scott is on? Oh, that's sick. Yeah, I definitely want to go back and watch that. I'll watch it probably just myself off stream after the end of today's view party, but I'd encourage you guys to do the same. Those were always, for me, one of the highlights of LANs. It's just a different vibe that an FT podcast can have. Like I said at the start of this stream, I'll repeat it one more time. I didn't know that there was going to be an FT podcast today before the show. Otherwise, I would have tried to arrange this match for another time, but I didn't want to cancel it really late when I realized my mistake. So here we are, streaming World Class 1s at the same time as a World Class podcast. But actually, yeah, unfortunate situation. Yeah, I'll definitely be catching the VOD later on. You can bet on that. Excited about it. 3-3 in games, 3-3 in game 7. Rw9 again so high on the ball. Look how slow his recovery is, because he's trying so hard to push the ball over Mawkzy, who's now missed the bottom corner. He tried to snipe it. And what a bounce Rw9 has got here. Full pitch air dribble. He's trying to bump Mawkzy off it. Does. I don't think he even needed it though. Looks like the standard air dribble would have done the job. Mawkzy did not think he's going to go high with this one. He was waiting for Rw9 to maybe land a flip reset on the ball there. Couple extra touches. Rw9 goes up by 1. Oh my goodness, what a bounce Rw9 got there. It was definitely Mawkzy's fault. He's the one who shot from distance and missed. But that set Rw9 up perfectly. Now it is the reset. He switches up. Aerial play. Will the boost spawn in time for him? He's thinking about it. No, it won't. It doesn't spawn for Mawkzy either, who still has enough to continue attacking. Rw9. Simple backflip to force the ball into his own crossbar. Just really gives it as much as he can in that position. As much height on it to deny Mawkzy. Quick follow-up shot. Respect from Rw9 there on Mawkzy's overhead clear. The 1-goal lead stands, but here comes Mawkzy on the ground again. Rw9 fakes a challenge, hides behind the ball, and will save the softer flick. Mawkzy, quick turn, catches Rw9 by surprise. And his reward is another run-up from the back post. Rw9 again deflects it into the backboard, and it looks like his long shot is good. A couple times this game, Rw9 has made himself as big as he can by backflipping to show the big side of the hitbox to the ball as it flicks towards him, and it's proved to be a successful strategy. 2 goals to the good. Rw9 fakes the possession play in the back corner. Mawkzy fakes the 50-50. Rw9 gets a piece of it. Remains in control. This doesn't look like a comfortable position, but Rw9 will be quite happy with this. Mawkzy's boost is dwindling. Rw9 wastes more time. He's stuck the ball in a really awkward position. Mawkzy failed a wave dash on the wall. Oh, I mean, was a wall dash necessary there? I'm not sure, but Mawkzy went for it. Now, he might have a bit of a look at the near post open net, but he's missed it again. It's the same post as earlier, and it's the same bounce as earlier. Oh dear, Mawkzy has just completely bottled it on the open net there. Rw9 scored a similar goal for his 5th. Mawkzy was unable to punish Rw9's mistake, and now here comes Rw9 again. Can he put himself in a double-up position? Low 50, denied. Mawkzy has another open net. Can he get this one? Yes, he does. Does not make the same mistake thrice. And we have a 1-goal game and 1 minute to play. Rw9 still trusting his kickoff mechanics. He's not changed the strategy much. Oh, now that he does actually force it to the outside. That's not what he's been doing for the majority of this game. Looks like it surprised Mawkzy, who's stranded at the edge of his box. Rw9 has a great bounce to play with here. Oh, but Mawkzy's done so well. That is a result and a half for Mawkzy. Not the best takeoff, but the 50's good. Mawkzy gives Rw9 a taste of his own medicine. I don't think that's the bounce that he wanted. He was trying to get it a bit higher into the air there, but he adjusted brilliantly and forced the equalizer through. 3/4 of a minute to play in regulation. We are still tied up. Rw9 does manage to force it past Mawkzy, but it's not an open net. He plays for the boost steal, and he gets the boost steal. Rw9 trying to keep the ball in an attackable position. Mawkzy trying to keep it in the back corner. Looks like Mawkzy's the one who's come out with a big win in that position. It went from being very awkward to now being more than even. If not, Mawkzy favoured as he chips it past Rw9. Rw9 quickly recovering. Mawkzy does not commit though. He's got the boost seal, he's got the boost advantage. Rw9 on 16 boost, commits to the back wall. Mawkzy approaching him slowly, lifts it over Rw9 and effortlessly scores to lead with just 6 seconds left. The composure by Mawkzy, the timing is out of this world. Rw9 expected a flick, probably the whole world expected a flick there for Mawkzy, but he just graciously lifts it over him. And now with a little bit of time wasting can win the series in 7. Mawkzy stays on the ball. Rw9 has one more chance at this. Mawkzy denies him. And Rw9 immediately compliments him with the nice one in chat. You love to see the sportsmanship between two storied rivals. But that has blown the Rule 1v1 Invitational wide open. Rw9 beat Zen yesterday. Now Mawkzy beats Rw9. And tomorrow Daniel will join the fray.